Hi, Cancer. Welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot. I'm working on your reading for February. So here's something that's a little bit well, it's not unusual, but sometimes when I tap into energy, when I start pulling cards, I hear songs in my head, and sometimes I just assume they're the songs floating around in my head. But this time I was being urged to share a song with you. You could thank me later. I'm not going to sing it to you, but I advise that if you have any Cancer placements or the very fact that you've clicked on this video, look up the lyrics and listen to the song Hey Jude by the Beatles. And the line that they kept saying, there's a couple lines that they kept saying over and over, which was to take a sad song and make it better. And the part where it says, remember to let her into your heart, then you could start to make it better. So whatever that means to you, I'm sure it will resonate on different levels for different people, but Spirit wanted to share that song with you. Okay, Cancer, let's start with your astrology for February. You've been going through it. You got hit heavy with the eclipses, and you got hit really hard in your 7th house of partnerships with this conjunction. There is a lot changing for my Cancers, maybe more so than any other sign. And I think the thing with Cancer is that some people assume that there is a level of easiness in a Cancer, maybe because you are so emotional and nurturing, and because of your empathic nature, that you could be easily taken advantage of. But I think the Saturn-Pluto conjunction put an end to that nonsense, and a lot of that is the self-sabotage that Cancers go through, and the different thing about Cancers is that yes, they are very loving and nurturing, and you are a fantastic partner, but at the same time I feel like Cancers are really stepping into their power and their authority. Now, you are a cardinal sign, much like the Capricorn, and all of this energy has been in your 1st and 7th house. So it is very much affecting who you are, your identity in this world, and how others see you, and how you are with other people in partnerships, in contracts, in business partnerships, marriages. The 7th house is a placement that is pretty prominent in your chart. It's actually the descendant. So it is where things stop being about you as an individual, and life starts becoming who you are amongst other people. The top half of your chart becomes very public. This is kind of your outer world and what you show to others. And there's a lot of power there. There's even more power mid-month because you'll have Mars moving into that 7th house. So not only is Mars going to bring a little bit more decisive action and ambition and drive into that house, but the first thing Mars will do when it enters Capricorn is meet up with that South Node. That South Node that we've been dealing with this year in Capricorn has a lot to do with the clearing and the releasing of old karmic patterns. And so when Mars drives through this area that was so heavily lit up first by Pluto and Saturn earlier in the year, and then Jupiter came in and it went over the South Node, and now Mars is going to come in for that final, it's like the universe testing to make sure that you've got it right now, and showing you where once you start taking the correct actions, once you start understanding the transformation and not resisting it, this is where you will meet real progress. We have a full moon coming up on the 8th and 9th, depending on where you are. And that's in your second house, the sign of Leo. And this is a beautiful full moon. It is not actually aspected really at all. So in a way, it's kind of standing out in its own intense energy, like Leo tends to enjoy. There's going to be a little bit of a spotlight here in your finances. And when I look at that, because at the same time, on the 7th, Venus is going to move into Aries. And it's going to also hit Chiron as soon as it moves into Aries. So your second house is your income and your values, and your 10th house is your destiny and your career. So the first thing I want to tell you is ask for the raise, apply for the job, demand the promotion. Not in a demanding way, but in a way that you know your self-worth, you know the growth that you've had, and you know what you bring to the table. This is very much about understanding what you are worth. And Aries in that 10th house is about asking for it. It's about not being afraid to expect it, to manifest it, to put it into action. The Aries will make you move. So there's a lot of very intense and heavy ambition that Cancers have right now. I don't know if there's a whole lot of emotional wishy-washy indecisiveness. I think that Cancers are getting real decisive. I think that they're getting real tired of nonsense. I think they're getting a very low patience for people that aren't as ambitious as they are. Cancers are making the moves in 2020. And if you are a cross watcher or dealing with a Cancer at this time, if you want to slow down and kick your feet up, you're going to have some real issues, because Cancer is going to ride you, because they are going to expect out of you what they expect out of themselves. And if you are in a state of flux, in a state of indecision, the Cancer is just going to pass you by. And that's the energy. And then, of course, there is that Uranus being triggered as soon as Mars hits Capricorn as well. Your 11th house, this is friends and groups and associations. This is also your dreams coming true, where you manifest your deepest wishes. And when Uranus comes through here, it likes to liberate. It likes to create freedom. So there's an expanding of your horizons. There's an expanding of information available to you. You might be linking up with groups on the internet of new types of people, even becoming friends with someone who maybe comes from another country or is from a different nationality than you. It's just introducing the fresh and the different in your life. And the 11th house is a very nice placement for that. It could also cause some sudden and very dramatic things to happen in the life of your friends, meaning that things could happen where you have to drop everything and be there for them. And there could be some frustration for Cancers. And I don't think in a sense where you don't want to be there for them, but with the juggling of being able to handle it all. So take it easy on yourself, Cancer, and just know that what is meant to be and what you're able to do is absolutely fine. And that always the most important thing is that you are taking the time to take care of yourself. And then finally, we could talk about the retrograde Mercury going through your ninth house. You've been hosting Neptune in your ninth house for a little while now, so you're getting a little bit used to it. But retrograde Mercury can, and this is a very mild one, it's nothing really to write home about. And in fact, out of all of the aspects that we're working through in 2020, this might come as a welcome retreat. Even some of the things that could happen as far as delays might be a reason to steal a minute to kick your feet up. Cancer, there might be some things that happen that force you to rest and take a break. And I wouldn't resist it this month. Being in your ninth house, I just suggest that any travel plans, be open. Check your flight schedules. Try not to book things real tight. If you have real close layovers, expect disasters. Get to the airport early. Do your best to avoid lost luggage. All that kind of stuff that could happen in a retrograde Mercury. There's miscommunications regarding traveling, pickup times. This is long distance travel. It could also be things to do with higher education and learning. Issues with obtaining transcripts from a college or, things like that you might be going through this month. They might be up for review. You might need to redo them, revisit the ideas. Let's get into these cards. Because now I just gave you this long-winded explanation of how Cancers are not tolerating the indecisive this month, but it appears that Cancer is somewhat indecisive. Let me explain. The card that came out for you first was the Eight of Cups. And it's crossed by the Four of Wands. So I think the inner part of Cancer, when I say inner, I think the deeper soul level part of Cancer wants to take a spiritual journey, wants to really go for the farthest goal. That's what I'm seeing, is that a Cancer wants to head towards something big. And it's something big enough to leave all of these cups behind for this journey, right? And I say it's being called to you because it's like something inside of you. It's like this knowing that you have to. There's a curiosity here that you can't resist, okay? But there's also that part of Cancer that needs to be responsible and dependable. This is your stability. So there may be situations in love or in life or in your foundations that are causing you to have to decide between walking away and going on a journey to something completely different, or remaining that person of stability and support to other people. Okay. So we have you wanting to move towards somebody, and that's what I see with that Eight of Cups. There's a movement towards somebody or something, and it's not really one that you feel you have a choice in. You're just really being called to it. And you could either be hoping that results in a stability, in a partnership, or you could be having to walk away from that partnership. And as I get through these cards, I just want to say that I think some Cancers are going through one situation and some are going through another. And so it's almost like Spirit laid down two sets of cards here, which thank you dearly, Spirit, because this was a little bit hard to decipher and understand. In Cancer's fears, I get unrequited love. So it looks like one person in this situation. Now I say unrequited love, but if we're talking about a job situation. This could be, somebody really wants it. Somebody really feels like this is a deep and solid connection. A real soulmate connection or a destined opportunity. But the other person may not. They may not take it seriously at all. Now remember, Cancer, this is in your fears. It's not the reality. So if you're falling for somebody, I think the natural fear is, oh my God, what if they don't have feelings for me? What if I'm in this alone here? Again, I just want to reiterate that is just a fear. It is not justified at this time. In your hopes, I have the King of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Two of Swords. So you may be dealing with a fire sign. Could be a Leo, could be a Sag or an Aries as well. And I think that you're wanting to move into calmer waters with this person. So I'm not sure why I'm sensing like the beginning of a relationship and not knowing where it's going. That really awkward period where it's like, did you delete your app, your dating profile? Should I delete my dating profile? I'm not sure where this is going. But the knowing that you want to move towards this. This can represent a very passionate, kind of, and coming from the Four of Wands and the Two of Cups, this is very passionate, and there is a lot of feelings here. And it's something that you want to move towards, or you want to move into calmer waters with this person, into a place of stability and safety. And it looks like you're either hoping to make a decision on this, or you're hoping that this person is going to make the decision to move towards you. In your recent past, I got the Page of Pentacles. So it does appear that you have received an offer. Again, this could be a job. I've got a lot of pentacles in this reading. For the outcome anyways. Yeah, there's a lot of everything going on here. But this could have been a gift or an offer or, something stable. It's not just it's not booty call, like there's an offer to date here and see where this goes. And I think that this person's intentions, although in the early stages, which is sometimes good, I think they're honorable. I think they're trustworthy in this offer. And especially because they were clarified by the Fool and the Justice card. So the Fool is that energy where you need to take a leap of faith. And here's the magical part of this. During this conjunction, the giant conjunction we had on January 12th, and we're still going to carry that energy through the end of March, so it's not over. But that conjunction asked you to drop all of your baggage, all of the past relationships, all of the failures, disappointments, the way that people disappointed you. You have to drop them. And you can't bring them into this new offer, okay? Because that's the only way that you're going to get what you deserve. If you're attracting people from a place or from a vibration of love never works out for me, people never stay, I can't rely on someone, well then that's exactly what you're going to manifest. But if you're manifesting this from a place of a clean slate, of a new you, of a not having the fear of the unrequited love, not having the fear of already intuitively knowing there's going to come an ending and a heartbreak. Sometimes cancers can bring that in because you're very protective of your hearts. You have beautiful, warm hearts, and you should be protective of them, but not to a point where it actually holds you back from attaining what you deserve. And that's what that Justice card is about. This is an offer that is worthy of you. This is a karmic justice. This may be, and this is coming up a lot in some of my readings, and so is the Two of Swords in the Hopes position. You're not the only one to get these placements. So I think that Saturn at the end of Capricorn, right? It's at the very final degrees because Saturn is going to move into Aquarius in December. Usually at the end of a Saturn tour, I like to call it, you get a gift. And this is going on in your 7th house. So it's like, okay, you've done all this healing from these unfortunate relationships or partnerships that have occurred, job disappointments, whatever it is, the reoccurring pattern in your life. So Saturn comes in and says, okay, here's your karmic justice. Here, you're finally going to get what you do because you believe in yourself now, so I believe in you too. And there is also a feeling of divine timing when that occurs, because Saturn kind of creates this need to self-discipline. It can make you feel a little bit heavy. It can make things harder to achieve sometimes in when Saturn's around. But then what you do achieve after that transit is really long-term stability. It's, what you would want a marriage or a business partnership to be based on, the intent that both people are around for the long run. Saturn, Pluto conjunctions that occur, that happens about between 30 and 40 years. So we are talking long karmic cycles here and new beginnings. In your near future, we got the Queen of Pentacles. So, again, I'm talking about if this is a job opportunity that's coming along, or if it is a partnership, this person is really going to value you. People can love you, Cancer. People can enjoy your company. They could feel passionate about you. But sometimes they don't always value you, right? So, and here's what I'm saying. A person can want to spend time with you, but if they had to make a choice between protecting you or going after their own pleasures and their own excitement, I think in the past you may not have been considered. But this person that's come along, or this job, does see your value. It does see what you bring to the table. It sees you as someone who is worthy of being invested in. It sees you as someone who they want to build foundations with. King of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Not only is this a person who sees you for who you are, who values you so much, but they are also willing to communicate it. They're willing to tell you how they feel, to make you feel comfortable and to be truthful with you. And I think willing to protect you as well. I think willing to defend you and protect your heart the way that you sometimes have to protect your own heart. So I see a real solid beginning here. But the advice from Spirit came out a little bit differently today. And I'm telling you, these cards were really, really flying out all together in piles. I don't know what was going on, and I was putting them back, but they were actually coming back out. So this is a message, and there's no denying it. This is how I'm going to explain it to you. Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords, right? So in a lot of ways, this talks to me about how for a Cancer, when there is confusion, and for a Cancer, if you are confused, it means you are not intuitively connected. That is easily solved, right? Easily. But when you're in a place of confusion, there's self-sabotage there. I think it's easy for you to jump to conclusions. I think it's easy for you to slip into this fear until there's solid proof of the stability that this person offers. I think you find yourself in a place, that Seven of Cups, that feeling like they have a lot of options, you have a lot of options, you're not sure of this person's intentions, and it leads you to this place of self-sabotage. It leads you to a place where you may automatically assume that this person is deceitful, is not trustworthy. But what's happening because of that is that this is an opportunity now to end that cycle. The Ten of Swords says that you're going to let this cycle go. This is the end. You can no longer carry this type of energy with you. You can no longer carry that baggage. Remember? We're letting go of the baggage. So it's the ending of that cycle, and it's a new beginning. And in this beginning, you realize how valuable the power of your thoughts are, how valuable your intentions are. This is where, if you manifest on the positive, if you follow the passions, if you take the time to understand what you want and need, then it is very, very possible. It is very, very possible for you to obtain that Ten of Cups. Sorry about that. So that's what advice. That's the advice that Spirit wants to give you, is to really focus on that manifestation. So with that, I want to talk to you a little bit about this, because this really is a choice. Okay, what we have to understand on this journey is that we really do create our own destiny. We really do create our own reality with our thoughts. So again, if you carry those thoughts about love never works out for me, or these jobs never work out for me, or I'm always a failure, well, that's exactly what you're going to manifest in your life. The trick to manifesting is not in the wanting something, because when you want something, you're acknowledging to the universe that you don't have it yet. And all it hears is that I am grateful that I don't have it yet. And there's something really nice about being in a place where you want things, where you know, that's a good feeling. But if you want to bring it into physical manifestation, then you have to really connect and feel what it's like to already have it. So you want to get married, you want to have those babies, you want to go to that college. Then you hold it in your heart and you feel the emotions that would occur if you already had it. You have to allow yourself to feel that level of happiness and that level of vibration in order to achieve it. You really, truly have to believe that you already have it, and then the universe has no choice but to deliver it to you. If you are stuck on thoughts of lack and failure and disappointment, that's what the universe will keep giving to you. And in order to reach the levels of happiness that you need for a clear and reliable manifestation, then you have to do the forgiveness, right? So in order to stop thinking about all the failures of the past, whatever they were, you have to forgive those people. And you're not forgiving them for them. I heard a lot of people go, oh, hell no, hell no. Okay, so first of all, we don't have control over other people. It's a fact. It's hard to understand. There is an unhealthy attachment to outcomes and an unhealthy attachment we have all grown used to when it comes to expectations of other people. We're here to have a human emotional experience. The only thing we can control is us. So it's so much more important for you to focus on your thoughts than it is for you to focus on trying to control and manipulate others. And Cancer has to learn, and you will, or you have, that sometimes a Cancer can be a little emotionally manipulative. Why? Because we're super emotionally intelligent. It does give you a leg up on people. But sometimes you can come across as needy, and that could make people want to walk away. And so you have to give up that level of other people owe you. I mean, even if you're married, I'm not saying that your partner has a right to go out and cheat on you and be dishonest, but you could be in the most beautiful relationship and something crazy occurs and your partner falls in love with somebody else. You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay within yourself and know that the universe gave you this beautiful experience. You learned a lot of lessons with this person. They were a valuable person in your life. And now it's time to move on and have new experiences. We are at a time and age where we live a lot longer and there's so much more technology. And so we are rapidly going through lessons of ascension that took lifetimes and lifetimes in the past. The average person would live to 20 to 30 years old. They would get married very young, stay with the same partner, and die. Now we're dating multiple soulmates in our lifetimes. We're meeting them. So many more friendships. Our horizons are so much larger. We have access to so much more. And so we're learning all these lessons at a level, so it's a little bit naive to think that there's just a one person for you. There are so many beautiful ways to open your soul. But you don't want to be taken advantage of, so what happens is you have to truly honor yourself. What feels right to you. You don't ever sacrifice what feels right to you. This was a lot. I'm trying to warn you, this was going to be long-winded. But the manifestation is the key to the advice. To drop the fears, to go into this with a clean slate. And no, I think that you're being intuitively pulled into whatever situation this is. And it's kind of follow your heart, just like the song. Remember to let her into your heart, then you could start to make it better. Right? This is the making it better. And let's take a look at the outcome, because the outcome I know. It's a little crazy, right? So the Page of Swords tells me that this is going to start off slowly. But you have to rely on the honest communication. This Page of Swords is coming out in a lot of these readings. So I think maybe with the full moon, maybe as retrograde Mercury occurs, maybe there's going to be some truths revealed, and that's good. Because I see it being positive. You have the Sun card and the outcome. So enlightenment, right? The truth is revealed. And it looks like the truth is this person also wants the equal give and take in this partnership. This card means that you'll get exactly what you bring to the table. They will treat you the way that you treat them. They will value you the way that you will value them. And the Knight of Wands is telling me that once the initial phase of discovery occurs and you guys decide to start trusting each other, I see a lot of trust here. They're both cards of children. There's an innocence. Again, we're approaching this with the Fool card, the clean slate. No one's bringing their emotional baggage into this. So there's a very innocent and childlike approach to this situation. And it's truthful, and it's honest, and it's embracing who you truly are. Could be dealing with a Leo here. Because there's an equal give and take. There's a communication that occurs in which you both know the intentions of the other person and that they are trustworthy. And then the action picks up very quickly, because then we move into the Knight of Wands. Sometimes the Knight of Wands can be my player card, but I don't think so this time. I think that this is passionately going after what makes you happy. I think this is a quick movement. So I think once you get through the initial phase, you get brave enough to have that communication. You get the Knight of Pentacles. And this is a really beautiful energy, because these two cards paired up in a partner is pretty fantastic. Because this has the energy and the drive and the ambition and the passion, but it also has the honesty and the reliability and the stability that you are requiring at this time. And so there'll be enough passion and enough movement and drive to keep you comfortable, but also enough of that earthy balance, that slow movement, the reassuring type of thing that occurs that makes you feel very safe. And that means the world to Cancer. Your astrology cards. Solar eclipse. New beginnings. New illuminations. The start of something fresh, right? And the earth element, stability, which is exactly what you want, is that stability. And that's exactly what will occur if you go about it the correct way. This was really an amazing reading, Cancer. I'm going to pull an animal spirit card for you. I'll read you the spirit card, and we'll get a better understanding of the energy that Spirit wants you to harness for the month of February. Spirit, what is the energy that you want Cancer to harness for the month of February? We'll take that one. You got the Camel. It's another earth energy, Cancer, and that's what I mean about the all that energy in your 7th house in Capricorn. It's like the bringing real stability into your emotional world. Camel, resourceful, independent, and knows oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease, even in the face of excess heat, judgment, or anger. The camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance. It was a lot of what this reading was about. Fire and water, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway lands. When in balance, content and a sparkle in the eye. When out of balance, dehydrated and lacks vitality. To bring into balance, a pilgrimage. So Cancer, some of this might be opportunities to travel, or opportunities to, sorry, that's my son in the background, opportunities to expand those horizons. Like I said, you may be meeting people from other places in the world that Uranus might be kicking up right about now, which could be pretty exciting opportunities for you. All right, Cancer, I'm going to catch you mid-month when I come out with the Valentine's readings. Until then, I wish you the very best of luck. Love you. Bye-bye.